Ooh, and we are live. Ooh, hello, hello. Rob, can you hear me? If you're wondering if I have any idea what's going on here, how to function this, you are sadly mistaken. But this is what we're gonna do for now. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and let me know. If you see me looking behind me, that's because my beautiful puppy is over there currently sleeping. I might show her later when she wakes up, but currently that's probably a horrible idea. Um, So, does anybody have any questions to start? If not, I'll just start rambling. And I'm not sure if you guys want that to start initially. Nothing, nothing. All right, well, let's do some life update stuff. So, obviously, I said I wasn't going to, but I'm going to do it immediately. This is our beautiful puppy, Lyra. That is, oh, okay, Rob, give me 1 second. She is a mini dapple dachshund, and she is currently the second greatest love of my life behind Louisa, obviously. What made me decide to do this? It has been a huge passion of mine for a long time, and I've always wanted to create content and entertain people, but was never really sure how to go about it. Like there was always the anxiety behind like really putting yourself out there. There's also like all the different platforms you can do, but the main issue that I had was not being able to fully commit to it. I would always find ways to like back out of it or find a way to, you know, really just put myself down and think that like people wouldn't enjoy it. But I just decided that now is a good enough time to go for it, so why not? And I have the greatest support system in the world right now, and so many people supporting me. So you know what? Why not? I've always wanted to do something like this. I love talking to people. It's damn near impossible to shut me up 90% of the time. In fact, that's normally a bigger issue, is that I never shut up instead of the opposite. But I typically, uh, I watch a ton of content, whether it be YouTube and stuff like that, and that stuff helped me out. Link OnlyFans. Listen, bud, we ain't there yet. Keep watching. If this becomes popular, I promise you might be in store. That's not a real promise. Don't be excited for that. But content creation was always a passion of mine, and making people smile, making people laugh. I always wanted to entertain people, but never really knew the right avenue. I wanted to try stand up comedy. I wanted to try all these things, but in reality, I never really got to the core of like what I really wanted to do, which is just talk and make people happy or try to connect with people. It's really all I've ever wanted to do, and I think that it'll be a really fun journey. My go-to isn't going to necessarily be streaming. The live format is definitely kind of like daunting to get into, but I would love to post content of like later on in the future of vlogs of like fishing trips, hanging out with like buddies, gaming content, anything of the sort. I want to put out basically my personality. That's what I really want. I just want to like put myself out there and see where that can take me. The only asset I truly see, like really me having, is myself. And if I can't put myself out there, then I don't that's my biggest problem in life, is not knowing what path I want to choose. And this was kind of always it. I just want to make people smile and entertain them, but I never knew the proper way to do it. And there's so many different avenues that you can take, but content creation was really the one that I wanted to do the most, because if we're being perfectly honest, like I would, you know, seclude myself often, like say after like high school and stuff, and I didn't want to be around people, and depression kind of really got to me. Uh, I struggled a lot, and there was like some big life events that happened that really kind of started tunneling me down that path, but I needed a way to kind of like crawl out of that hole. And a lot of the time, watching other people, like content creators and stuff like that, was a great way for me to do that. It allowed me to like get that really like deep connection from like watching a video, and it's somebody I don't even know. And so like if I could do that for other people, if I could provide other people with an outlet that they might not have, no matter what that be, that's what I want to be. If it's just entertainment, that's great. Putting a smile on somebody's face, you don't know how, like watching one little video that was funny can literally change my day, just because it made me smile and it made me like think of something uplifting. And if I can provide that for other people, I mean, that's just amazing. Like, I would love to be able to like do this as like a normal thing, and I probably will. You'll see me on like other platforms and too, and I'll share links to everything. I created a page earlier that I will probably start live streaming some of these off of, but for now it'll just be my personal profile for probably the first couple. Maybe I'll like share that link afterwards when I finish setting it up. But yeah, to get to the root of that very long-winded answer that I had, Rob. See, this is what I mean by never shut up. I get sidetracked real easy. It's the ADHD rattled mind. But um, it was content creation in turn honestly helped save my life. I mean, it sounds silly, but it's not an exaggeration. In my like darkest times when I didn't know what to turn to and I couldn't talk to people, watching other people's content and like hearing about their struggles, or just watching a entertaining video of theirs, it made me um realize that there's always like people that are in the same situation. There's always people that like feel down. It doesn't matter who they are. A billionaire wakes up in the morning, and I promise you, their first thing isn't, I'm great. Like, I'm having a great time. It's probably anxiety over how their business is doing. And so, like, those feelings are all natural. And if I can provide people with that kind of, outlet or happiness or anything, as long as they can connect to me in a positive manner, that's really what I want to do. I want to help people. Um, the no, Father, you can't join me in the video. I love you, but that would be an awful idea to have you on here. I don't think you did that on purpose, but we don't need Douglas here right now. Maybe one day. You know what? Maybe you guys might get a Doug on live one of these times, actually. And I know you guys would like that. Everybody loves Donald. We call him Donald sometimes. His name is Doug, but that's not important. What's your plan for regulation of content? How often? Honestly, for some of these streams initially on Facebook on here, I'm probably the next few days I'll probably be going live at least for a couple hours a day, just to try to get used to this and to like reach out and see how people like it. Um, did you connect with my stream content too? Yes, Rob, your stream that I was probably a part of was really up. No, of like that is a good question though. Watching you go out of your way to try to achieve this is a big thing that helped push me to want to do this. Like, obviously it was something I always wanted to do, but seeing you actually try to do it was incredibly inspirational for me. Like, I mean, genuinely, because like I've always been jealous of your ability to just throw yourself out there, whether it be in singing or, like choir or like performances. I've never had that ability to just like overcome my nerves and do something. It would scare the shit out of me. So, yeah, currently this right now, nervous wreck. But it's kind of how my personality goes anyway, is 100 miles a minute. So, it's not really that surprising to anyone, I assume. But yeah, I'll probably be doing content the next few days, like consistently. And then once I have the page all set up and like share that around, I will try to set up a genuine schedule for doing these because I want to keep this like live podcast format the entire time. Like, I would love to be able to do this. I'm going to eventually, obviously, link my YouTube, TikTok stuff, all that, because I want to put out a bunch of different content that won't be this. All of that stuff will be like actual, edited, cut content, or just something that, I've videoed and then put out. That stuff won't be live for the most part. The only thing I'll probably be doing live for a bit is these like Facebook podcast chat things. I think it'll be a really fun time. And like I said, if I can get some of you to like laugh, connect with me, just enjoy like that, that's all I really want from this. It would be a dream if I could like make this into some kind of like career, but set expectations low and then see where it goes. So my plan is to just put out steady content in various formats and various things. I plan on doing all kinds of stuff. Gaming will be a big thing that I'll probably put out on YouTube. There'll probably be clips on TikTok and stuff like that. TikTok, I would love to do like little skits and things like that. I've always loved performing and doing drama stuff, which goes back to what I was telling Rob. I was always impressed with him by was his ability to just get up there and do things. When we were in school or choir or even any performances we had, I would always have to be convinced heavily into doing these things. Um, I was always pretty good at it and I enjoyed it a lot, but putting yourself out in front of people like that is absolutely terrifying. And whenever you stutter or make a mistake and that like wave of like, oh shit, I am like terrified. Like that stuff would almost make me freeze, and that was not it. I was not a big fan. And Rob coaxed me literally since we were in high school, trying to constantly get me to branch out and try different things, try to like do skits and stuff. The Blues Brother thing, that is a great example. I was supposed to do a performance, and literally all I could think about the entire time was how scared I was, and I couldn't remember a damn lyric to save my life. It worked out well that I actually did get sick and couldn't be the lead in that performance, which gave me escape. Obviously, I felt bad about it, but it at the time, oh my God, it literally saved me from like a national tragedy. But um, the movie theater skit, yeah, I loved doing skits. I would love to do skit comedy and stuff like that, and I'll probably post a lot of skit comedy and things like that. Um, just so you guys know, anything like you want to ask, any questions you have, don't be scared to like comment anything you want to know, anything about me just in general, more than willing. In fact, I love talking about me. I love talking in general. It's just I know the most about me, so that's kind of where it focuses a lot. But I just wanted to see if any of you had anything you would like to know about me personally before I start going off on more tirades about myself without anybody actually asking. Because I will continue just to talk if nobody says anything. No? All right. So, the idea behind doing this initially was definitely like wanting to put out content and stuff, but the idea specifically about this Facebook Live like interactive kind of podcast live stream. It's like the for any of you that actually watch streams of any kind, it's kind of like a just chatting section where I want to be able to have kind of that podcast format, which by the way, my buddy Rob there, we are going to try to set up an actual podcast of some sorts, which hopefully we can start doing sometime soon. I think that'll be super dope, and I think you guys will really like that. Um, it'll be various like topics. There's no real specific set for that, so I can't go into too much depth about what we're going to be doing with that. But um, as for this Facebook Live, once again, back on track. Got to railroad myself here, else I just spew out everywhere. Um, yeah, I thought it would be really cool to be able to. What about interviews? Like the high school heroes a base team, talking to them would be interesting. Interviewing people would be cool, but that also falls in lines a lot with the podcast thing. And so hopefully I'm going to mix that in with the podcast idea wherever we'll be able to have like various guests, or maybe have it as like, it would be cool to be able to like travel with like some equipment to maybe like set something up to where we could do that somewhere else. But that is way down the works still. We're gonna have to start real small with that, so it'll probably be just like the podcast and stuff to start out. It'll probably just be me and Rob initially. He has his own streams, by the way. Check him out on Twitch. Believe it's just Rob T streams. Not entirely sure. You can let him know in the comments there, Rob. Uh, but he's going to be one of the people that I probably game a lot with too. So you guys are going to get to see him. There'll be a lot of other friends that are going to show up in my gaming content and stuff later. And that also depends on like the games I play, because we do a ton of variety. Um, I would also, a really cool thing that I would love to be able to do is make kind of like vlog content, outdoor stuff, things like that as well. I love fishing. I know I have a lot of buddies that love like things like that. And that kind of content was always cool. Just like being able to see somebody go on like kind of like a nature adventure. And I would absolutely be willing to do some of these live streams while out, like say while I'm kayaking or something like that. Drop my phone in the water, you might get a surprise. Hey, end of the stream, that'd be cool, right? Yeah, no, all right, cool. Um, but yeah, this is just the intro here. This is me trying to get comfortable to this kind of thing, and anybody wanting to like learn about me, just chat, you're just bored, don't have literally anything to do, come and talk to me. Why not? There's worse things you could be doing. A lot. I think I'm pretty cool. I mean, I personally wouldn't talk to me, but that's because it would be actually, this is kind of me talking to me right now. I take it back. This is kind of weird. But, you're all on the other side of a screen, so it's not entire. No, no, it's still weird. It's still weird. But yeah, the back to the gaming content thing, which will be a big part of it. The skits and stuff will just be like random comedy, random things I think about on like TikTok and stuff. There won't be a whole lot of like linear progression with that. Like things aren't going to like run together a lot of the time. A lot of that will just be entertaining things that I find funny, or something that I just made up, stuff like that. I might make other TikToks, which I probably won't share with you guys, that will be personal outlets for me, because that is so embarrassing. But things like interests that I just have, like beatboxing and stuff like that. Like I said, my ADHD rattled mind doesn't really let me sit still ever. So I, by nature, would just, like sing. The reason I fell in love with singing is just because it was a way for me to be vocal and like do things. Like that was kind of an outlet for me always. And the same thing happened with like beatboxing. You're just kind of like there listening to a song, and you're trying to like make the drum sounds along with it, trying to like get entertained by that things. And so I would just start doing a lot of that stuff. So maybe I'll put out some of that content as well. But absolutely not going to start sharing that with you guys. That is hellaciously embarrassing, and I'm not really wanting to put myself out there that much yet. But Yeah, be on the outlook for all of my random content that I'm going to be putting out. The YouTube and stuff, I am going to try to get figured out sometime this weekend with just like basic setups. Any nudity on here? Meet me out back for that. I don't think that really goes with community guidelines. None of the rest of you heard that, right? So singing content in the future? See, and I knew you were going to ask me that, and I I would love to. I truly do love singing. Singing is a passion of mine. A lot of the singing you might see is going to be me forgetting I'm live while I'm playing a game or something and just start naturally doing it or like something of the sort. Trying to convince me to actually sing is going to be much harder to do. Like I said, that stuff still gives me a lot of stage fright. Talking in front of people and like being live isn't that bad. Like it's definitely kind of unnerving, but singing to me is a different kind of like scary when it comes to like putting out a content like that because um it's embarrassing as hell if you make a mistake and it's something that I really actually like doing. And so I mean when you like really are passionate about something and then your voice cracks or like you miss a note right in the middle, man, is it hard to recover from that mentally during that performance. Obviously it's just a mistake and people aren't going to care. Like if you're going to general life advice here, you're going to make a shit ton of mistakes in life and you're going to have embarrassing moments. But honestly, most of the time, embarrassing moments, what actually happened there was you just made a shit ton of people laugh. And as long as you don't let that get to you, it holds no power over you. Which is not, this isn't helping my cause to tell you I don't want to do singing content. I'm just trying to give advice to promote it. Okay, hold on. You almost finagled me there into convincing myself this was a good idea. Don't do that. But yeah, once again, anyone who's new here, if you have any questions about anything that I'm doing, anything that you'd like to know, um, life stuff in general, if you want to know anything about like what I've been doing recently, um, a good topic here. The last time some of you saw me, I was probably much fatter. Fair to say? I mean, you guys probably see like life updates about me and stuff on Facebook here and there, but a lot of you people I don't keep like in constant contact with. So as you can see, yes, still fat, but not nearly as fat. And that right there, that's progress, buddy. At my biggest, I was like 340 pounds and very unhappy, which also was a big thing that like really pushed up my anxiety a lot. It was lack of self worth, which being like losing weight and things obviously was a huge boost to that, but I still wouldn't have been able to do this. This is still way out of my comfort zone. This is a culmination of that and getting my own sense of self-worth up, but mostly the amount of support that I have. I got into a very amazing relationship with the woman of my dreams. I'm incredibly happy and she's amazing. She supports me in literally everything that I do. She's always got my back. She's always by my side. Boy, she can be a turd, and I know she can hear this right now, so she's not going to like that. But God, I love her to death. And she is one of the biggest reasons that I'm able to do stuff like this. Like I've said, the support of my friends and family I've had an amazing, like, you guys, most of you probably know a lot of my friends, or you are my, like, very close friends, and most of you know my family. Um, you probably know them for being loud and yelling a lot, but also I promise you they're the most loving people on the planet and they're the most supportive people ever. And that's also a reason why I would love to be able to do this is that it kind of shows people like, bro, I went to school with all you. We grew up like together. You're all like in this community. All of you like know. Oh, hey, I see Ashton's joining. Check out his stuff too. Ashton is on his like rap career path right now, and he improves every time I see it. Phenomenal. Love that. Keep grinding. This goes along with that. Show support for people that are like trying to achieve their dreams. Always try to like help people and build them up. There is nothing negative that is going to come from you being nice, from you being supportive, from you trying to help others. Nothing bad will ever come from that inherently. If people try to take advantage of your kindness, then that's on them. What are people going to know you for? Oh, that's the guy who was really nice and got screwed over. I don't see how that's a negative, you know? So if you see people that you know trying to like reach out and like, follow a dream, follow a career, do anything, even if it's like a pipe dream, really, like, if you like, I truly don't know whether or not anything will ever come from this. It may just be the same 15 of you guys that want to like come and listen to me ramble every now and again. But the fact that I can do this and there's people that are like willing to like go along with it and support me, that's an amazing booster. And that's an amazing booster just in life for like these people. Like, I don't think you understand how much just hearing support from people like actually does for somebody. Because, I mean, yeah, true, this might not amount to anything. This might not be something that it might be something I fall out of. But the fact that I was able to try to do something and I had a bunch of people support me, I had a great support group, that'll be carried with me through life. So no matter how this ends up, knowing that there's people that will like help me and support me in life, just having that stability is incredible for somebody that's trying to do new things and like branch out or just taking a new path in life. Say somebody wants to start going back to school or like trying to do anything, like they're terrified to like take a new job path. Like that stuff is scary, bro, and just be supportive of that. Like, there is nothing that will um you don't get out of anything out of being negative. Tearing somebody down or, avidly like trying to ruin their dreams is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. Like, just going out of your way to say, hey, I saw you were doing stuff. Hey, bro, cool. Keep it up. That means the world to people that are trying to put themselves out there because there is no guarantee anyone cares about anything you're doing. And it's literally just based on how hard you're willing to work for it and whether or not people are willing to support you and try to like jump along on this with you. My goal here is to help others realize that they can do anything they want to do. And your value of success in that is purely based off your own standards. That was another thing that like really kept me from wanting to do something like this in a long time is that fear of failure. It's the fear of, like, what if it doesn't work out? Oh, are people going to make fun of me? Who the hell cares if someone made fun of you? Someone makes fun of you. Oh, you followed your dream, man. That didn't work out for you, but like you tried, you put in a genuine effort, you like went out to go do something else, and there's inherently no failure in something that you're doing as a passion project. This is something I just want to do, and that's literally one of the turning points that I just had the other day, is that I was always scared of failing. One, I have the love of my life who supports me even though I'm kind of poor as shit right now and don't have a lot to offer except I look good and I'm fun. Like, that's all she's got for me right now. So if she's here now supporting me, shit. Well, what's a couple people thinking I failed gonna do? And that's also what I was talking about, the what you deem as success. I was always bogged down of thinking I needed to make millions of dollars or I'm a failure. Social media, funny enough that I'm streaming on a social media platform right now, but social media really like made me think that like normal life isn't good enough, which is the most absurd thing in the world. Like there is nothing wrong with having a family and having a normal job, and like if you don't want to like pursue dreams or like reach out for things, that is 100% fine. You're absolutely entitled. If your dream is to have an amazing family and just have like a simple loving life, that's success. That's your own success, and no one can take that shit away from you. But if you're gonna sit there and like ponder about like, oh well, like I only make like this much money, and I see people, like doing really well that I knew, I'm falling behind. I'm not, meeting the standards that I should be. But that's just a terrible way of thinking, and social media is kind of like threw that at us because everything becomes a contest, but all you're seeing is a highlight reel. So how are you going to compete with highlights? Like that's not how a normal life is 90% of the time. And a lot of these people are only showing you the happiest aspects of it. Like they're on a vacation. Some of you guys probably saw my Snapchats earlier in like last week and stuff. I was in Florida. I had a great time. Of course, I posted that shit everywhere because I'm like, look at how much fun I'm having. It's great. There was like twice on that trip that I was cripplingly depressed for no reason. None at all. I literally just woke up and I was like, damn, I'm not rich and I'm sad. Like that kind of attitude, which is ridiculous. And I've spent years of my life trying to frame my mindset in a better way. And I've come a long way, mind you, because like the amount of dedication I have to things once I stick to them now is incredible. But taking those first leaps is normally the biggest problem. I knew for a fact when I started put out a post on Facebook. I decided this today, by the way. If any of you thought this was like incredibly long and thought out, not a bit. I have put zero thought into that. I've always thought about content creation, but I didn't put any thought into what in the hell I was actually doing. Um, but yeah, like it took a lot. It genuinely took a lot. It took a lot of people supporting me. It took a lot of people helping me. It took a lot of self progress. Like I said, I lost a ton of weight, and I'm not gonna lie to you, as a kid, that was I attached my self worth entirely onto people's perception of me, which only then made it way worse, way worse. Like you're a fat kid and you're like, damn, people aren't gonna like me because I'm fat and ugly, basically. And then I found out that I could make people smile and make people laugh. And that was like my in, that was my way to like be a part of like the cool kids or like hang out and make friends. Is my goal is to just make people laugh. But inherently the issue with that is you're a kid, and so you don't quite understand that line between trying to have a good time and make jokes and have people like you versus basically you're just bullying one kid to make the other kids like you. And like that shit, when I realized kind of like, oh, my personality is partially based around like trying to make other people happy, but by doing that I was almost just making someone else sad, which is the opposite of what I wanted. And that shit ate me up. And like I would literally dwell on this all the time. Like it sounds silly, but even when I was younger, like if someone told me they didn't like me, that ruined my life. Like at that time, I put so much emphasis on what other people thought of me that it was absurd. And like I thought that if I like lost the weight and I became more confident in myself, somehow that would solve all of my problems in life. As if somehow being a fat kid was going to change anything. Shockingly enough, I lost a lot of weight and then was still really fucking sad. So that wasn't the issue. It did help, obviously, having the confidence booster of like feeling better in your own skin and like loving yourself is a huge reason that I was able to do any of this now. But even after losing that weight initially, that wasn't there. Like, people seem to have a concept of like, oh yeah, you lost a lot of weight, you must feel so much better now. No, I'm still the same person. I lost that weight, but I had years of that kind of mentality ingrained into my head, like a lack of self-worth. It doesn't all of a sudden go away. A couple of people commenting that being like, like, oh, hey, you look good, you lost weight, you must be happier. No, that doesn't solve anything. Now I'm just in better shape and still sad. Like, that's basically what it was. But then I started trying to just make little changes. Like, it may sound silly, but genuinely, like tiny changes in just the way I'd think. And it took several years, genuinely, to try to shift my daily mindset and what I really like, my outlook on life, and like what I'm doing and how I want people to perceive me. I want people to know me as someone who loves life and loves to smile and loves to make people laugh and smile, who will go out of his way to help other people if they need it. I I want to entertain people like that. These are what I want myself to be like known as, and to do that, I already had all of those things innately kind of in me. I've always been a people person. I'm pretty good at like reading people or like judging situations or like knowing how to steer a conversation to like help somebody out of something or like lead them into like something that they might like or like to liven the mood. But it took a lot to try to get my normal mental state to like actually just sit there instead of constantly falling back every time to like, oh, I had a great day. Somebody like commented on me and somebody was like really happy with like something I did or I helped somebody. And like that would make my day amazing. And then I'd come home and listen to like one sad song for no real reason. And it would just like that. I would get into the headspace of I'm sad and like I would fall right back into that hole, which seems ridiculous, but like that's also why, as I talked about earlier, like music was always really important for me. I'm a person whose mood can change entirely with a good song or like something like that. But it can also go the other way really quickly, which is been really tough to build that kind of mental fortitude. It sounds silly, I know, but it really is. Like I'll listen to like one sad song and suddenly my life outlook is now like dreary. And I listen to one happy song and I'm just like, all right, things are going like a little bit better. And it took a lot to like learn how to like balance everything out because I kind of had a really not healthy mental outlook on things when I was younger. And like I would like now, I genuinely will wake up and I'll find myself telling myself like, all right, like stay positive. You can like do this. It's like it's one day. Get through this day, do things. If I find myself getting upset, once again, it sounds silly, but I will genuinely get, like upset in the moment and then feel so bad about it instantly because I'm getting upset over nothing. And like trying to switch that mindset is so much harder than you can imagine. But I'm telling you, you can do that. Like it's genuinely possible. Like my personality now, most of the time, is almost always happy go lucky and having a good time. I have bad days, but I try to keep that to myself a lot of the time if I can. Normally, the only person that gets to see that kind of stuff is my loving girlfriend, Jen. I will also, you guys probably, any of you who know her as Jennifer. I call her Louisa. I'm going to do that by accident. That's just how that's going to go. So Louisa is the only one who actually gets to see that like sad boy stuff, at home sometimes. And that can be really hard because we both struggle with stuff like that. And so then whenever I need to be her rock, and I am just kind of having a mildly bad day or like something bad happened, but she's having a really hard day, I have to be able to tell myself, hey, what the hell are you doing? You're upset because you had a bad day at work. Like, she's having an actual bad time, you know? You got to be able to like weigh that out. You can't let small things like mess with your feng shui, your aura, your day, your mentality. Things like that can be debilitating, genuinely. You probably won't like see it a lot of the time, but if you let negativity like creep in all the time, it genuinely brings down every aspect of your life. 100% true fact. I promise you, the more negative you are about literally anything, it is going to bring a level of negativity into your life where you're just going to be angry or upset. And that makes it easier for you to be angry or upset at other things. Now, like I'm saying before, there's absolutely zero way that you can just go, oh, I should be happy. Why am I being upset? But little changes. Remind yourself. Daily affirmations, basically. It's genuinely what I do with stuff like that. If I get upset, all I have to do is every time you know what it's very much so similar to is training a dog. Train yourself as if you would train a child or a dog. Give yourself leeway. You're never going to doing anything with just immediately. It's like trying to quit smoking cold turkey. It is the worst thing you could do. Little steps, baby steps. Wake up in the morning, do daily affirmations. It doesn't have to be anything like, oh, I love myself, I am beautiful, I'm going to do this. It can be really simple stuff, something that motivates you, something that like that's actually, I would love to talk about that next if I can not ramble on or get sidetracked. Motivation is a huge reason why it was so hard for me to get out of the depression. Using Working out during the time when I was working out and losing weight, I was really happy during that time because I made my entire life at that time about losing weight. Hello, Caleb. How are you? Hi, buddy. Um, I made my entire life about losing weight. It was a quite literally a do or die situation. Uh, I will elaborate on that if anybody wants to know at like a certain point. But basically, I had to lose weight. I forced myself in that situation where I had to do it. And the amount of motivation I got that every day, all I cared about during that whole time frame. If a lot of you all of a sudden, like I went off the grid for a couple of years, it's because I was depressed and I just started working out and trying to be healthy. And I made that my life goal at that time. I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to see what I could actually do. And having that steady motivation of a real goal that I wanted to accomplish gave my life so much more purpose than I thought it would. The problem is when I lost a lot of the weight and I started to feel more comfortable in my skin, I lost the goal. So I lost the motivation, and it was the only thing that I found as truly a driving force. The other one being that I always wanted to do this, but I couldn't come over the anxiety leap to do something like this. And so I literally got myself stuck in just a hole that I couldn't really get out of. And it wasn't until, I met the love of my life and had a lot of people support me, a lot of saying I was going to do this and then not doing it, as a lot of you probably know. I've wanted to do something like this, but I couldn't make myself commit. And then I also realized the I am a person of spontaneousness. Nothing I have ever done that went really well for me was well thought out. Like, if that makes sense. Any paper I ever wrote, anything I ever did, if I waited last minute and just forced myself to do it, I would always do better. That is not me advocating for procrastination. It's been one of the most detrimental things in my life. But what it is the fact that I need to make myself get to that point of wanting to really like do it and like knowing that I have to do it before I've procrastinated to the deadline. And so I was like, all right, if I do better thinking on my feet and just going with my gut and like really putting my passion into something, then I just got to do it. Like, why am I like putting so much thought into something? The reason I love you too, Caleb. Bye bye. The reason I always would do worse in things when I thought about it too much is because I overthink. I give myself too much anxiety. I go over like everything that could go wrong. And then whatever I'm doing just starts to crumble little by little as I tear it apart. So I would come out with like a paper, and mind you, there might have been problems with it, but they were very small. The overall, what I'm doing is great. But as I would start to meticulously go through and start over analyzing everything, I would tear it all apart. And that goes along with everything else I did in my life. The more I really thought things out and tried to like plan stuff and do things like a normal human would do, organized, and what I thought was normal. Yeah, that shit doesn't work for me at all. I can't do it. I don't function like that. Organizing and things, that is something that relieves great amounts of stress for the love of my life, Jen. She loves to do stuff like that. Keeping things organized helps her keep her like brain on track because she gets sidetracked, as do I, but typically in conversation. If I'm stressed about something, that's all I can think about. So we're very different in that way. But organization has never been something I'm good at. So just going with the flow and immediately trying to do something I knew was the only way I would ever be able to do something like this. And so literally earlier today, I just went, all right, going live tonight. And I put it on Facebook. It was a snap decision done on my lunch break at work, literally. And I was just like, I'm tired of letting my life be controlled by anxiety and just self-imposed limitations. That's all it ever was. Like, it's every problem I've had in my life was a self-imposed block that I didn't realize a lot of the time that I was actually putting up. Because at the time, my anxiety is telling me, oh, yeah, this is a good reason. Like, I was going to school initially. Oh, I'm going to school and I work a job. I don't have time to do content creation, which is probably partially true, but that was just some excuse that I was making to just give myself an out. But I started doing it so much that I didn't realize I was making excuses. I was like, oh, I'm discovering this isn't the time. Like, soon, 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 I'll do it. I'm sure I'll do it one of these days. I'll never do it. There's no way I will do it unless I just jump on the bandwagon. And once I do, I normally become obsessed with whatever it is that I'm doing. I'm very, as some of you can tell, I get very animated when I talk. I'm a very passionate person about everything. I don't really have a mid range. I have 150% or zero. You either get nothing from me or so much that you'll be begging me to shut the hell up. Quite literally, those are my two settings. That's all I have. And I've found that if I just constantly am trying to like follow my gut and go with that spontaneousness, all of the good stuff. This live's getting personal now. Yes, it's getting very personal. All of the good things in life come from me wanting to, be spontaneous and like and truly and just enjoy life and like live it to the fullest. And I realized that there was zero shot I was ever going to be able to do that. I've never heard something more true. You're 100%. Yeah, I'm odd. I'm usually the loudest person in the room. That's sometimes a great thing, sometimes not. But either way, you'll know I'm being genuine, and you'll know I am being 100% truthful about whatever is happening at the time that I'm saying. I try to be the life of the party. I try to make people comfortable. I try to make people have a good time. And if I get into that, my volume level dramatically just raises, and that I don't really understand what an inside voice is. So You might see me at like a quiet event being way too damn loud in the corner. I apologize. Yeah, there's nothing I'm gonna do about that. Like that's just how it is. I I am full send 100% all of the time, or I'm no send. There's no in between. Once again, any of you guys have any questions about any of this, anything that I'm doing or why? Feel free to comment anything. You can literally ask anything, do whatever. I'm fine with. Also, yeah, to get back to where you said it was getting personal. Yeah, this live was kind of intended to be more personal, and I get sidetracked very easily, and I got off of that because the whole idea behind this was to give you an idea of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and what my goals are, and like where I came from. This is kind of like the introductory. I know a lot of you people know me, but not a lot of you actually know me. You just know I'm loud as shit, probably kind of funny, maybe abrasive, but genuinely happy most of the time, or at least that's what I show people. I try to be. I don't ever want to be a downer in public if I can avoid it. Like, I don't see how having a negative attitude about anything helps. Obviously, I know that sounds silly, but I was a big proponent of putting on the mask in public. You know, you're having like a terrible day, but someone asks how you doing. Oh, great, having a great time. Because that might help them. You know, I don't know. I didn't think like telling somebody I'm having a terrible time and life sucks is gonna help anybody out. So I would always try to just be, happy at least when I'm out. Keep the sad stuff for when I was at home. Really bottle it up in the healthy, manly way. That's a horrible advice. Don't ever do that. Find an outlet, find somebody to talk to, find somebody to approach. If you need someone to talk to, I got you, boo. Genuinely. I'm willing to talk with anybody about anything, and I'm willing to like talk with people if you ever have struggles. If any of you have ever like been going through anything or you need someone to talk to, I'm more than willing to be a shoulder for anyone who needs it. If you want to know like experiences that I've had with things, I'm more than willing to tell you about my life, my experiences with depression and anxiety, what I've done to try to like, you know, overcome things like that. Um, Struggles I've had in my personal life, things like that. I'm willing to talk about any of that if necessary. But a lot of the idea behind this is just trying to make people smile, laugh, realize that there's somebody else out there who is willing to listen, willing to care, willing to put themselves out there, show you that it doesn't really matter. I am literally, you guys know me, and I'm doing this right now. Do any of you think that I would have been doing this currently? Probably not. This scares the hell out of me still. And I've been talking for like almost an hour now. And this has only mildly become less awkward. Just so you know. If there's at points where you thought this was like going surprisingly well, it wasn't on the inside. That that was entirely, you just thinking things were going smooth and I had some kind of plan. And if you didn't think that, you're 100% right, correct. Like, this is all by the seat. Just like I'm just doing whatever with this live currently. We will eventually, like, I'll start to, um have actual topics that I want to discuss. I will have an actual layout that I want to do, or you guys will see me. Thank you for the support, Parker. Thank you for the support, Sarah. You guys are awesome. I love both of you. um Eventually I'll have actual plans. You know, and I'll have other videos to show and on different platforms and stuff. But this live stream is just an introductory to me and me talking. This is me trying to get comfortable with this, so that way when I start trying to record and do things like that, that I am more comfortable in the situation. And I figured if I'm going to be using this basically as a way for me to become more comfortable in this situation, then why not try to do something helpful or like entertaining or insightful? So I was like, all right, well, if I'm going to do this, then why don't I talk about things that, maybe might help people? my experiences in life, that like things I struggled with, how I like got through certain things or things that I'm still currently struggling with. I want to help people. I want to make people smile. If anything like that, or like me being like emotionally like, in if I get deep, I'm going to get deep. If I'm going to do that, it's what I'm going to do. You might not like it, but somebody else might find that like, it really helps them like connect, and it like shows them that like you can be emotionally available. You can men can cry. That's a Guys can cry. I cry regularly. Usually not in front of people, but I do cry regularly. Sometimes I'll just be taking a shower, listen to a sad song, get in the feels. That shit's healthy. Expressing yourself is healthy. I've always thought that the stigma and like that whole idea behind men don't cry is the dumbest shit that I have ever heard. Excuse my language. I've tried to keep the cussing down, but any of you that know me understand that like the filter thing, like Mitch said, 100%, 150%, filter flies out when I get passionate about things, and that's just gonna have to be something that some of you might have to deal with. I'm sorry if like cursing isn't something that you specifically like, and I'll try to tone it down most of the time. But you'll notice I start talking louder, I start talking faster, and I'll just get completely sidetracked if I'm really, really like into a conversation. So that's when some curse words might slip out. And for those, I apologize, but it's just a part of my personality. It's part of my lexicon. It's just how I talk. Have fun, laugh, and you be you, because I know I've always loved talking to you. Ah, Kyle, you're a sweetheart. Um, yeah, spread love, spread positivity. Don't be a negative Nancy, quite literally. Don't tear people down just because you can, or like you think it'll somehow make you feel better. This shit, it won't. All you're gonna do is make somebody else have a terrible day, and you don't know what people are going through. You don't know what kind of like day that they've had. You don't know what kind of situation they're in, and even if you don't think it's that big of a deal, just being passively negative or like talking down to somebody for no reason can have way more severe side effects than you realize. Because maybe that person's on like the brink, like they really can't handle much more, and you don't even know who they are, and you think it's just, oh, this dude cut me off in traffic, so I'm gonna go and cuss him out and tell him he is miserable and he should go die. Well, you know, you might cause something like that by putting out that kind of negative energy. Being loving doesn't cost you anything. Being kind costs you nothing. Making somebody smile and making their day, I promise, will make you feel so much better. If you have a day where you don't do anything at all, but you made somebody laugh, then you made their day better. You can say that you during that day made somebody else happier, even if just for a moment. And like that is something that I always like honestly lived for. When I was younger, I didn't have a lot. I'm getting very personal, and this is going to happen, but I didn't have a lot of that inner love when I was a kid. I did not love myself at all. So I found that making other people laugh and making other people smile was my way of like getting that happy energy. Like it was that feel like seeing somebody else like laugh or smile because I said something kind or I said something that entertained them lit me up like you wouldn't believe. Like that made me so happy. The only like that was the driving force in how my personality was built basically. It was self-loathing and self-hate, which led to me trying to get all of that like love from everyone else, which is why it made me, you know, it broke me when people said they didn't like me. We've come a long way from there, trust me. I do not care about your opinions if they're negative. That's why I also said put all your negativity towards me. People that comment things and like do, like or saying anything, there will be times when I will probably have a live where I talk about something controversial and I talk about very maybe hard to discuss topics at time. Obviously, there will be disclaimers in like if I'm like posting videos about things like that, or like one of those topics is going to come up. If I think it's going to get too much, then I will basically give you like a trigger warning or like say like, hey, this might be, like this is going to be a controversial topic or something of the sort. But if I ever do anything like that, I don't want any of the comments to be like, I don't want you guys arguing with each other over like stuff. Civil debate is fine. Having a discussion with somebody is fine. I feel like a lot of people nowadays don't understand the difference between debating with somebody and telling them they're wrong and that they're dumb. Because from what I've seen of a lot of people on Facebook, they just think that like, oh yeah, this person's hateful. I know it'll fix that. If I'm hateful, that has never solved anything. Go into something with an open mind and try to absorb what they're saying. Even if you don't agree with any of it, getting that understanding of their actual perspective is going to help you understand where that person is coming from. Because I see that all the time where basically you'll have a debate about something. We're not going to get into that right now, but you'll see a debate over very controversial topics on social media and things, and all you see is the two extremes yelling at each other. That's all it is. It's literally that people are 100% on this side telling people 100% on this side that they're trash. That's all you see 90% of the time. I'm not going to have that in my comments. I'm not going to do anything of the sort. I will be as unbiased and open as I can be about things. But if I have an opinion, then I will share my opinion, but it will just be my opinion. And I avidly ask that any of you, like, if you hear me say something you genuinely disagree with, talk to me. We can talk that out. Commenting something extremely negative doesn't help. I promise that you telling somebody they're wrong isn't going to change their opinion, especially if you do it very negatively. Explaining to them the way you think, explaining to them how to have a good actual conversation is going to like drive growth for both of you. You being the leader in that situation and understanding how to then approach other people and deal with situations of the sort, and then that person understanding they're probably an asshole, but that's not important. But yeah, I'm not going to deal with any of that in these comments. If you guys have negative things to say about me, fair game. I mean, there is quite literally nothing any of you could say to me that will make me feel bad in the slightest, because I've already done that work. I put in years of that dedicated self-hate, baby. You guys can't do anything. So if you have negativity to say, at least direct it at me. Or if you like have things where you genuinely disagree with somebody else that's saying something like in these comments or anything, take a better approach than just telling them they're wrong and trying to start an argument. That's not helpful. Try to have a conversation. There is a big difference. Conversations and like heated debates and stuff like that can still be okay as long as there is respect and understanding in them. You can get worked up. You can be very passionate as long as you don't go over the edge or like you don't start tearing the other person down because of the things they believe in. You'll find a lot of people that have very strong opinions on things typically only have them for like very silly reasons. like like normally it's like radical like belief in something for like no reason. And I'm not going to lie to you, a lot of the time those people with like super extreme takes on things are not worth your time to have. They are not going to have that debate with you. You're not going to reach them, and nothing like that is helpful. Take that step to go, hey, I really don't agree with this, and I just want to understand why you think this way, and then I will tell you the way that I like think this should go, and then you have that conversation there. You see, and instead of just getting heated and yelling at each other, because Once again, that's absolutely pointless. So, negative things to say, or if you want to have, or I start talking about things that you don't like or don't want to hear, one, you can tune out. Like, you don't have to listen to it. But two, comment things, ask questions. I am very open to talking. And also, I'm very open to my mind being changed on things. I firmly believe that if you take really hard stances on everything with no wiggle room, you're an incredibly disagreeable person and you're probably got a lot of wrong opinions that you really need to sort out. Everything changes constantly. I mean, scientific facts change constantly. Like, and that's something that you take as like a scientific fact. Your opinion on something, if you're not willing to at least understand or accept that there are potentially other sides to this and there's other ways of thinking about it, then you're just being incredibly closed-minded and silly. Like, quite honestly, you're a child. That's just what it comes down to. Um, at every point in life, you can always grow. You can always learn new things. You can always adjust. You can always change in positive or negative ways. You can go down a bad path immediately and out of nowhere. You can pick yourself up from the depths, and it can be a lot easier than you think. It just takes a lot of genuine effort. It's being dedicated to genuinely wanting to improve. And that's a lot of the reason I'm here. I just want to be a better person. I want to make more people happy. I want to spread what I think this world probably needs a lot more, which is just positivity and love and good, genuine conversation. I Is something that maybe it sparks your mind or maybe it just gives you a different perspective. I will even be willing to play devil's advocate on things I don't actually believe, just to like help you see other sides of things. I've always enjoyed doing things like that because you'll often find the more that you start like showing people other sides to like a debate or like a conversation, but you approach it in like a genuine human, empathetic, and approachable way, that they are way more likely to maybe go, all right, well, maybe I don't agree. It at least gets them thinking about it. Like that is the key to what you should be striving to do if you're trying to argue with somebody, is try to get them on the path to potentially changing their mind. You're not going to have a conversation with most people and them go, man, that guy was right. Thank God he was here for that. They're probably going to go, man, he really thinks about things in a different way than I do. I never really thought about that. And then that starts their growth pattern. Once again, I have gotten incredibly sidetracked here, but just having good conversation and enjoying what I'm saying. So sorry if it bothers you. I'm going to do another little puppy break here just to check on her. Come here, Lyra. And also, you guys get to meet, some of you probably haven't seen this beautiful girl. This is the second love of my life, behind Louisa. This is Lyra. She is what I would consider the cutest damn thing in the world. And if you disagree, this is the one time I'm going to say this. You're wrong. I'm open about everything else. I'll never tell you you're wrong about anything else except this. She's phenomenal. Cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. Pain in the ass, though, let me tell you. She is the cutest thing ever, and she is the sweetest girl. But holy, talk about an absolute hot mess sometimes. I have never seen a creature that baffles me more, honestly. It She'll, just be going, having her like normal time and start spazzing out and freaking out and chewing on stuff. You'll think she's being like a sweetheart, and then she takes a hot dump on your floor. So, ups and downs, baby, ups and downs. But I love her to death, and hopefully we'll get her out of that habit, because holy. I'm sick of it. Luckily, she's cute though, so that's a big plus. Uh, Throwing it out there once again. Questions, comments. Anybody wants to know anything? Want to know why I'm doing this? What I'm doing it for? I've explained to you a lot of it. Some of you have been here. Some of you haven't. The reason I'm kind of repeating myself a lot in this specific live stream is because a lot of people are going to be seeing this for the first time, and I'm trying to explain what I'm going to be doing and what this is for. Spreading love, spreading happiness, showing my personality to the world, trying to better myself, trying to better other people, and just trying to have a good time. There's not a lot of life to live. Life is short, and I'll be damned if I'm not going to at least try. That's where it comes down to. I don't know if I can make a difference. I don't know if I can be successful, but I can tell you I'm going to put my damn heart into it, and I am going to try my best. And I genuinely appreciate every ounce of support that I've gotten from any of you, whether or not you even know you're being supportive. Just some of you being in my life and like being the people that you are have helped me become who I am, and have helped me realize that I can do a lot more than what I'm doing, just genuinely. And that's not even me talking myself up. I'm just not doing a lot, that I'm like genuinely proud of, and like I'm happy to. I need that motivation boost. I needed that. And I have loved doing this so far, actually. The nerves are still there, and it's still awkward, and you don't know what to talk about half the time because this is like freelance and shit. But I I love being able to just talk and see people like comment, and seeing people like enjoying it, or just spreading love. Even if you don't like it, you can just spread love, you know, just enjoy your day, enjoy what you're doing. Even if you don't take anything from this, even if you didn't enjoy this, hopefully I at least got you thinking about what could I do to be helping other people, even if it's just something simple. Someone's hair looks good. Be like, hey, you look good. Nice job. Don't be creepy. Don't harass people. I'm saying being nice. There's a big difference. Some of you need to learn that, but that's just my general message. I will absolutely be posting tons of new stuff soon. I will be sharing out a page that I'm going to create for this, where I will be doing this kind of stuff regularly. Um, I will be diversifying this kind of content. We'll probably be doing an actual podcast soon with a couple, well, at least probably Rob. And you guys actually after this will probably see me in Rob's stream if you want to check out, more me time, see what he's about. He's going to be in a good bit of some of my content, going in the future. In fact, he'll probably be in a decent chunk of it. This live stuff is currently specifically just targeted at me trying to get comfortable with the format and express myself and show people what I'm doing, get it out there. But soon, you guys can expect actual content. I'm going to put out gaming stuff. I'm going to put out life stuff. I'm going to put out skit kind of stuff, like with like TikToks and things I'm passionate about. You very well could end up seeing me sing at some point. Good Lord, that prospect does not sound promising to me. Scares the hell out of me. I'll still do it if people want it. I will. But when you guys hear like me miss a note or something, you'll get that like telltale stank face that I get when I know I messed up. It's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Like you'll see plenty of that. Plenty. I would love to do the outdoor content like I talked about too. I have recently got back into my love of fishing and just being outside. I want to start taking more. I would love to go on like a hike, stuff like that. You guys might see vlogs basically of trips I take going fishing, maybe a vacation, things like that. Just putting myself out there and putting out content and trying to, make the world a better place, a little bit of love at a time. That's really it. I'm just trying to be positive, send people good vibes and hopefully help some people out. We can have deep conversations when we need to. We can have silly ones. You're going to see a lot of goofy ass content from me if you follow this along. This is not how a lot of this will be going. This is me just talking, but you will, it'll, it'll probably get goofy. Some of you might not be here for that, but what I'm telling you is that there will be options, plenty of options. If you like fishing, outdoorsy stuff, I'll have that. If you like travel and doing that, I'll try to put out the stuff that I can. I'm poor as shit, so like traveling's hard, but like we'll figure that out. You know, whenever I do trips and stuff like that, I'll put that content. Basically, there's no limits to what you may or may not see. It can be whatever. The focus is going to be mainly just around whatever I find entertaining or what I think is fun or what I think people might enjoy. I don't really have like a set for like what's going to happen. A lot of YouTube stuff initially will be gaming. A lot of this kind of content will be vaguely podcast-esque, me talking, answering questions. Y'all need to get better at asking questions. Y'all are terrible at this, if I'm being honest. I'm trying to hold up my end of the deal, and I feel like, you know, that's a joke. You're all amazing. I love all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being supportive. Even if you just had to like stop by and just say, hey, you know, good job. Do, you know, trying to do whatever you want to do. That means a lot. Like, I mean, that really, it shows that, like, you know, there's people that are willing to just follow along to try to, like, see what I'm doing, you know? Even if you don't avidly watch all of my stuff, even if you only check in for a short amount of time, that amount of, like, just, you know, helping me out here and there and stuff, that kind of support means a lot to me. That's really cool. And I would love to be able to, you know, like interact with you guys as much as I can and have hopefully plenty of good conversation with y'all because that's what I would love to be doing with this. Like I said, you'll see more of like the other, you know, content that I'll put out as it will come out and as we'll get to that. But this is just my intro of trying to see how live streaming something would go and seeing how people respond to it. And so far, all of you are very loving. I'm sure none of you have gotten a lot out of this, but you know, very kind. And like that's great. I enjoy that. You know, you're making me feel really good. That makes, you know, that's a plus. That's a plus. Um, but yeah, we'll probably not be going on too much longer here. I've already been going for an hour and 20 minutes, which is kind of ridiculous because it's literally been me just spewing out stuff for almost an hour and a half now. There's been like 3 questions asked, and everything else has just been unprompted me. So, yep, if you don't ask questions, you get what you get. And let me tell you what, that's not always what you want. So, if any of you guys want to like know things and stuff, I will be wrapping up this live soon, but I will make plenty of posts about when I'll be doing this again. I will probably be doing this again tomorrow at some point, if not Monday. But within the next 2 days, I'll definitely be doing something. It just depends on my schedule and what's going on. But hopefully, actual content on platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and stuff like that, I will hope to be rolling out next week. You know, like the YouTube stuff obviously will take a bit because that'll be putting out videos and stuff. But I hope to start getting that actually created to get that going. And then the TikTok stuff, again, just do whenever. But honestly, a lot of that is just going to be things I find funny, what I'm doing, anything and everything. But live streams like this, I'll try to keep you guys updated, keep you posted on that. And then I will be sharing a page as well that I will be, you know, setting all of this up on and actively live streaming from in the future. But as for now, that's also still going to be in creation. And yes, I am still joining you after Rob. All of you guys, if you enjoyed any of this, would like to see more of me, would like to see what kind of stuff I might do in the future, it's going to be along, you know, like this kind of gaming content you might see and stuff. I'm going to be joining Rob for his stream after this. Rob T, I think it's just Rob T Streams, one of the two. You'll find it. He linked it in here. If you scroll up on content, like you'll find that stuff. Support local creators, support people trying to follow their dreams. Support Rob, support Ashton, like I said before. Anybody else you know locally? Banta. You guys know Nathan Banta. He has his own things, Banta Botanicals. Follow all their stuff. If you guys want to like truly make an impact in somebody without having to do anything, just share love and show love to the things that people are doing that they're passionate about. If you have friends and family that like love to do something or like they would love to be able to do something, just show support. It's that simple. That goes a ton. Like it goes a long, long way. It really can help somebody like struggle through like the hard parts of starting something up. Even if that could be, a business, anything like that. Any big leap someone's taking, just be supportive. That's all it really comes down to. That is free. Positivity is free. Kindness is contagious. Love somebody. Tell somebody you love them. Be the person that you want to be as much as you can. I know that sounds silly, but just remind yourself of that. Be the person that you want to be. If you're having a bad day and you're like showing that you're, like you're letting it show, you're like being, rude to people for no reason, just remind yourself of what it would be like if the other person was doing that to you. So you're having a good day just cruising by and someone's just an ass. Like you would hate that. It would ruin your day. Well, that's what you're doing. You know, show love, show support. Kindness is contagious. I love all of you. Thank you for being here. Check me out. I will be posting links and stuff in like the coming future to everything that I'll be doing, everything I plan on doing. You can find me right after this on Rob's stream. That link is in the comments. Love you guys. Have a great night, and I'll see you later.